Imagine being locked in a room for hours every day, listening to some strange language, say Chinese. You are told to copy all the symbols again and again without making any sense to you. How would you feel after one day, after 1 week, and after 1 month, and 1 year later? What if you're forced to do the same for 5 years? How do you feel? Let's see what's happening in our schools. As a report says, even after 5 years of schooling, nearly 50% of the children in grade 5 can't read a simple grade 2 text. So, what happened to those 5 years? How a child might have felt each and every day at school. Just imagine. Education, learning, and trauma are becoming synonyms. When we saw children undergoing this learning trauma, we were deeply disappointed, but this led to our exploration and discovery of joy of learning. Over 8 years of rigorous action research with kids in rural areas, we have developed Joyful English Foundational Literacy Kit based on Joyful Accelerated Acquisition of Language Framework, and we call it JAL framework. And this is one of its kind in India. In this Foundational Literacy Kit, you will find Joyful English textbook, Joyful English assessment book, combined with our own JAL pedagogy and scalable teacher training model, all at one place to get the learning outcomes. This foundation literacy kit is developed as a bridge course for children who are struggling on their reading journey to become fluent readers. It is designed keeping rural children in mind. This is meant mainly for primary age group, say first grade to fifth grade struggling readers. Over many years of action research with kids, we have constantly innovated many things in content, assessment, pedagogy, and teacher training. We got first discovered pedagogy, which gave us accelerated results. In order to help teachers in selecting content for acquisition, we prepared Joyful English Text. It is based on our 4C model for content. We believe that content should be comprehensible, compelling, contextual, and conversational. Coming to assessments, we designed based on brain switching principle as stated by James J. Asher. One of the key unique components of this are we have introduced listening assessments and made reading comprehension assessments more accurate. These assessments assess children's sub-skills than memory. Similarly, we have constantly transformed our teacher training processes. In this process, we have discovered many integral techniques that integrate body, mind, and heart for language teaching, which accelerates the learning by 10x times. One of the unique features of this course is it addresses four different dimensions: emotional, critical, foundational, and functional literacy. It is just not about literacy, about reading and writing. It is about all those skills which are underlying and also uh, how we are going to apply this in real life. Then it will become complete. So it doesn't jump to the literacy aspect directly. First, it will address the emotional well-being part by reducing the fear of learning and promoting joy of learning through various modes. Then we actually look at the skills or agencies that actually develop children learning capacity like prediction, guessing, higher order thinking skills and lower order thinking skills. Once we develop these thinking skills, children naturally learn by themselves once we provide the right environment. So in this way, the foundational literacy will be obtained in a more implicit way, and then they will go for real life applying of reading and writing aspects. And all these are possible in an effortless way because we are integrating body, mind, and heart in word and in principle. We always focused on the purpose rather than being unique. But once you focus on the purpose, naturally the innovations, discoveries will naturally happen and it becomes unique. So when it comes to Joyful English textbook, we added real life applications to give children a broad exposure to reading and writing aspects. And one of the main aspects of Joyful English is it is based on language acquisition skill. It uses language acquisition tools like TPR, TPRS, procedures, brain switching, storytelling, and many others for language acquisition skill. And the other interesting design aspect is human-centered design, where we have used handwritten fonts and removed all that clutter which is not necessary for the students. So it looks very simple and clean. Coming to the assessment, we call assessment for assistance, not to evaluate child, but to assist him. In this particular assessment, uh, sub-skills are assessed, but not memory. So, if the child is not able to perform an assessment, it means that he lacks those sub-skills. So, it will give a cue or feedback to the teacher to focus on those sub-skills in the next lesson. If the teacher is consistently not focusing on those sub-skills, then it is it is clearly reflected in the assessments. So the teacher has to take that feedback and correct herself and generate that sub skills and get the main skill. So so there is a feedback from output to the input. So naturally you will get the right outcomes. So learning outcomes are assured because of the feedback driven model. Uh, Coming to the pedagogy, so we use comprehension first approach stated as given by the natural approach, which was stated by Stephen Krashen. And coming to the implicit teaching practices is based on our philosophy of nothing can be taught by Sri Aurobindo. And long-term registering is one of the key technique that we use: body memory, emotional memory, logical memory, procedural memory, all these things in long-term memory. So we use key how to embed the content, the vocabulary into these memories. So brain switching storytelling again is based on the concept of brain switching by James J. Asher. So we discovered it earlier, and it's one of our key flagship technique. And skill focused teaching is one of our main component that gives us the outcomes. Teacher upskilling is one of the most foundational aspect of any program. If this fails, everything fails. In this, we have made a few important innovations, like we introduced teachers workbook where they actually develop their uh, lesson plan during the teachers workshop. So it's not an information thing, but it's actually co-creation of lesson plans. And other thing is continuous skilling with help of assessments. So they need to get this skill in their classrooms, and who will be guiding them? The assessment for assistants will be guiding them. If they get deviated from their path, the assessments will tell them what are the skills they are missing, and again they will be this feedback path will help teachers a lot in their upskilling. And we are planning to have online models for their reference. Just to address the question how our innovation solves the problem of foundation literacy in a holistic manner, we established joyful classrooms first to reduce their fear and to promote the joy in them. And then we start focus on comprehension. This develops connection in them. It makes some sense, developing sense. Then once we start implicit instruction techniques, which they'll start guessing things, prediction, and all those things. And this will generate, you can see that intrinsic motivation for learning happening. The joy of learning starts, you can see clearly during this implicit instructions. And the cognitive flexibility develops when you start focusing on acquisition based methods, and once you start doing the sub-skill based assessments, you're actually shifting from memory based assessments. So the students have don't have to by heart anything, memorize anything. So the fear of exams is lost. And since the skill is developed, that too in a long-term memory is used, so they don't have to fear of it. They don't have to fear for exams. And in this way, we are able to solve this critical problem in a more holistic way. And these results you can see for yourself. You can get long-term retention, stress-free exams, language acquisition, huge improvements in confidence and listening comprehension. There are many more. If you can see in the small picture we have taken, like initially the student was hesitant to write even few words in the initial assessment, and after 14 classes he was able to write, he was able to attempt all the 20 words in dictation partially correct, but he was able to write. He has got that confidence, and he has written one complete rhyme on his own. This shows how much improvement has been going just in 14 classes. It is possible. These are our action research centers where we constantly action research about various new innovative pedagogies, techniques, methods, and all those things. We thank all our partners who have been part of this journey at different phases of this particular project. Initially, it was Isayambalam that streamlined designs, and Aravill, which supported a lot. Then Tata Chemicals came into the picture. Then Wipro Foundation uh, helped us a lot. Then we started collaborating with Ajim Premji University, and we also started collaborating with Agastya Foundation with the Navodaya project. The current foundation literacy kit is for English, and we're also developing Joyful Hindi. And this JAL framework can be used for developing foundation literacy kit for any other language. We are also planning an online website for supporting teachers where they're able to see inspiring teaching models. Teaching model is one of the most robust way of teacher training, and we are planning for this soon. It will be there. And coming to the app, we are also looking for developing an app for large scale assessments. Since the assessments for assistance will actually give the data on the sub skills of the child. Once it's done for large scale, the governments will get clearly the picture of what are the sub skills that are missing in the children. Through that, they can take necessary steps in teacher training. So this is one will be a key game changer. With this, we conclude that the JAL framework, Joyful Accelerated Acquisition of Language Framework, a practical and tested solution for foundation literacy issues. This framework shifts many things in the current system. It shifts from language learning to language acquisition, a memory assessment to skill assessment, the current focus on writing output to the focus on LSRW skills, the current focus on teaching alphabets to the language application, current focus of being teachers as content delivers to action researchers, and few can go to the neural architects, some can be human engineers too, depend upon their capacity. The framework allows them to be like that. So there is a huge gap in the NEP. There is no proper integral model available for NEP 2020 foundational issues, which can generate outcomes accordingly. So the JAL framework is supposed to fulfill that gap, and we are working in this particular direction. Thank you.